The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, welcome back. This is Grace.
So on our second segment, today we are going to talk about ASEAN. And we are actually, we will be discussing about how to connect ASEAN to the grassroots.
Right.
I mean, the reality is a lot of people still do not know what ASEAN is all about.
Well, that is very true. And generally, when people hear the word ASEAN, they still think it's such a heavy word, like politically or economically. What's got to do
It's
with
like,
us?
it's too heavy for us to even
Exactly. So
digest it. Yeah.
Perhaps this interview will make our listeners understand even more about that ASEAN is still in us. I mean, we are part of ASEAN and how we can relate ourselves to ASEAN.
Especially with the recent introduction of the ASEAN People's Award. It's a way for ASEAN governments or ASEAN as an organization to recognize the works and the contribution of civil society, individuals, or even organization on, pushing forward towards a more united, a more robust ASEAN community.
Correct.
So with me is Ambassador Jojie Samuel, Deputy Director General of the ASEAN-Malaysia National Secretariat. Hi, welcome to the studio.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank
Good
you
morning.
for inviting me here.
You're welcome.
So, in this very beautiful morning, before we talk more about that award, perhaps share us more. What is ASEAN-Malaysia National Secretariat and what do you do exactly there?
I'm the in charge of the socio-cultural community division. ASEAN-Malaysia National Secretariat, we have actually various division under our National Secretariat. We deal with political security under the three pillars of ASEAN community building. We have the political security, we have the economic community division, and we have the socio-cultural community division, and we have also the external division, external relations. So what we do exactly is we are the secretariat for all the activities and the projects that we do in Malaysia. We coordinate the chairmanship of ASEAN this year in Malaysia. As you know, 2015 is it's a pivotal and very significant year for Malaysia because as we chair ASEAN 2015 this year, we are also heading towards the establishment of ASEAN community by end of this year.
So, in other words, I would say the more aware, especially Malaysian, on ASEAN, that means you have done a great job.
Yes. In 2012, probably you know that there was a survey done by the ASEAN Secretariat, ASEAN Foundation, and they have found that in Malaysia, it's about 30%, about 36% awareness. So that's quite low as compared to Cambodia or Laos, where they have almost 90% of awareness. So if we could at least get more than 50% of the awareness to increase the awareness among Malaysians about ASEAN and the benefits of ASEAN, we have done. We come a long way in terms of that.
And what are the factors that is contributing towards the lack of awareness, especially among the younger generation?
We have found in the survey and the studies done by ASEAN Foundation, one is that in terms of the among the younger generation, the school children, it is not in our syllabus yet. And we have been discussing this among the ministries and agencies concerned, especially Ministry of Education, in trying to put the syllabus, ASEAN syllabus, into our curriculum.
And that's why we are less aware compared to Thailand, the Philippines, and even Cambodia.
Definitely, yes. When you go countries like Cambodia, Laos, they are new members of ASEAN, comparatively new as compared to all the other ASEAN 5. So we see that the level of awareness in those countries are quite high, and but we feel that we have done a lot of activities, programs in creating awareness among Malaysians. Since 2 years ago, we have started.
Since 2 years ago.
We have started.
What have you done?
We have started. We are not concentrating alone in KL or Klang Valley, but also in Sabah, Sarawak.
Oh wow!
In the northern region, the southern region.
That's a huge task there. The whole of Malaysia you're covering.
Yes, and we work with other organizations, private entities, like the universities, the schools, and also the NGOs to create awareness about ASEAN. So we work together with them in terms of not only trying to organize seminars or forums and talks, but also kind of like have activities that the school children, especially the younger generation, can appreciate. So have activities like quiz show, have some sort of like simulation about ASEAN, and so then they will realize and appreciate more about ASEAN.
That's true.
But then I have a question when it comes to ASEAN awareness and then developing the sense of belonging to ASEAN, especially in Malaysia, because our younger generation, they are not used to have ASEAN as a part of their education. Wouldn't they get confused between the Malaysian nationalism and the ASEAN identity?
They will be like, aren't we supposed to be like just Bangsa Malaysia? Now we have to be like what? Bangsa ASEAN?
It's it works both ways. Once you have the identity as you are a Malaysian, and what we want to create is we are not trying to get rid of their national identity.
Right.
But as ASEAN, you feel ASEAN, the we feeling of ASEAN-ness will be there wherever you go. Like if you go to Thailand or if you go to Philippines, even though they speak different language, but you can communicate with them. So this is what the ASEAN community is all about, in terms of the sharing of the same identity of being an ASEAN. Different culture, different way of how they live, but I think in some certain aspect we can appreciate that there are some similarities among ASEAN countries and the peoples in ASEAN. So
that's true. And I think my ASEAN awareness, personally sharing my personal experience, my ASEAN awareness increased based on this very two reason. One is I used to do a lot of student exchange or student gathering. Sometimes you have conference where they have like young people from different Southeast Asian country gathering together. I think it's the right the right venue for you to get closer, get to know to different ASEAN to young people from different ASEAN country, and that's why you feel like, hey, we are almost the same, And the other thing is traveling. I think especially with AirAsia, the moment you are able to travel any country in Southeast Asia without visa, then you realize that, hey, we are actually closer and more bonded than ever. And I think with the government, vision of trying to create, either syllabus or trying to create awareness among the younger generation would, add one layer of understanding of ASEAN. So I guess the future is quite bright.
Yes, most of our people, even in ASEAN itself, and to a certain extent in Malaysia itself, when you talk about ASEAN community, they only talk about the economic benefit.
That's true.
They say that we are achieving the ASEAN economic community, but it is not. It is also we are achieving the together with the political security,
correct,
as well as socio-cultural community. So it's three pillars in one. So meaning that it is not only the economic benefit, but people can now, like traveling around in ASEAN, visa, it comes under the political security, and then the political stability, the peace and stability that we are experiencing now. It's all because of the ASEAN leaders itself. That come together, we talk, and if there are any issues, difficult issues, we try to talk and we kind of like resolve all the difficult issues together. So there are challenges in ASEAN, but definitely, I mean, with ASEAN community coming into being, we feel that people feel that the feeling of ASEAN-ness is there, and this is what we are. It's a process. It is not overnight thing that we can get. People feel that suddenly they feel that wake up and say I'm ASEAN.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it takes both the government level and the civil society level, of course the youth level as well, of trying to get together among all ASEAN countries to understand the value of ASEAN unity. And I think one of the key driver here is the support, especially the Malaysian government has given towards the ASEAN People's Forum, especially the recent one.
Yes. We feel that I think one of our priorities is that to bring together all segments of society towards creating the ASEAN community. So like you said, we bring the NGOs, the civil societies, the marginalized group, women and children, youths, so that they would be the center, the focus.
And it's totally independent. It's not like, hey, this is like a proxy government thing.
Yes, and this is why in our the overarching theme of our chairmanship is a people-centered ASEAN. So we have it's a step above the people-oriented, where people-oriented we see that they define people-oriented as the government setting the policy, and then the people would carry out the policy, or they will follow. But people-centered is a bottom-top approach.
People give the feedback to the government, and the government responds to it. As far as possible. But because ASEAN, we work, in the 10 countries, we work consensus basis. The structure, because it's consensus basis, the structure can be pretty rigid sometimes. Whenever you have, whenever the civil society want to add their feedback to the government. So how do you deal with that?
It's a slow approach that it is step by step approach. So what we do is we take into account all their concerns and issues brought by the CSOs, right. And we feel that we need to talk with each other among the CSOs as well as the leaders, and that is why being the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the CSO's engagement with the ASEAN this year.
And it started with Tun Abdullah Badawi, right?
Yes, in 2005. And we continued that into this year in April during the 26th ASEAN Summit, where we had the interface between the CSOs and the ASEAN leaders. So some of I think most of the ASEAN leaders appreciate the work done by the CSOs, but we have to also understand that some countries there are certain sensitivities to when you talk about human rights, when you talk about certain issues.
Yes.
That so but I think we are heading towards a rules-based organization.
What is that?
Rules-based meaning everything is according to regulations, everything according to rules. We have our charter, which came into being in 2008. So everything is governed by the charter that we have. So we adhere to that. Previously, it is not. It is all based on
fluid decision making.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now we have the charter, and then we have also the declarations. We have various agreements signed between ASEAN, mostly in the economic sector, and that helps in terms of creating a more cohesive, more united ASEAN.
For sure.
We'll take a short break. When we return, definitely we will talk more about the ASEAN People's Award, and this is also one way for the Malaysian government as well as ASEAN as a whole pushing forward the relationship between CSO government as well as the ASEAN community.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
And you're back again with us discussing about the ASEAN People's Award and with the focus of connecting ASEAN to the grassroots. Of course, with me is Ambassador Jojie Samuel. We discussed earlier on ASEAN awareness and importance of ASEAN going down to the grassroots and trying to forge a greater connection with the civil society and with the ASEAN community as a whole. So let's put a focus on this particular award, which is something that has been started this year by Malaysia. Tell us more about it.
Yes, thank you, Arlene. This was announced by Prime Minister of Malaysia, Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak, during our chairmanship, during the summit, the 26th ASEAN Summit in April. And this is one of the initiatives of Malaysia during our chairmanship. This is the ASEAN People's Award, or known as in short form APA, is one of the ASEAN initiatives led by Malaysia during our chairmanship this year. And it is an initiative to appreciate and to recognize organizations or citizens of ASEAN who have made excellent and inspiring contribution in various fields that contribute towards community building of ASEAN. It is also meant to support and encourage their efforts by contributing a one-off grant for them to continuously work and contribute in their current or new initiatives.
How big is the grant, by the way?
It's US $10,000.
Oh, Malaysian ringgit.
This is US 10,000.
So we have to times 4.
Yeah, we have to times 4.
So there'll be a total of 10 recipients across ASEAN member states, with one national recipient from each country. And so at the national level, the ASEAN-Malaysia National Secretariat of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Malaysia is given the mandate to carry out the promotional activities, which I'm doing now, as well as the nomination process and selection of a national recipient. And to ensure accountability and integrity of the selection process, we have established a national judging committee consisting of prominent personalities to specifically carry out the
Are they
selection.
from various sectors?
They are from various sectors.
Are you allowed to reveal the names of
I
the judges?
can't reveal now because of the I think we want to ensure the privacy and also the selection process that it doesn't people don't contact them directly. So but I can assure you that they are from the organization and from none from the government organization, but they are from the human rights, they are from the economic sector, from the women's organization, from dealing with children also, and also dealing with the workers' rights. So
and they have been very prominent in their role.
yes.
Yeah, so they are veterans in
They are
terms
veterans
of,
and
in terms of civil society.
in terms of civil society, individuals, they know about ASEAN, they know about Malaysia, they know about the various sectors of the society.
Well, when it comes to human rights issues, especially in an ASEAN level, some are addressed properly, but some have a certain sort of the barrier between coming from the civil society to the government level. And what is the role that you have been doing to overcome or deliver the message?
Yes. You see, one of the aspects of that is covered under the broader community building effort is the promotion and protection of human rights.
Right.
And it is also an issue that cuts across all three pillars of ASEAN community. But it is sensitive in nature, provided that each ASEAN member state has different level of we have to take into account that each ASEAN member state a different level of acceptance and maturity with regards to the issue. So as you may be aware, and the listeners, some of our listeners may be aware, that Malaysia is also chairing the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights this year, or in short, AICHA. And it is a regional institution with overarching responsibility to promote and protect human rights. In the discharge of its functions and mandates, AICHA is guided by its terms of reference. And during our chairmanship of AICHA, Malaysia has initiated or will initiate a number of programs, including the convening of the first AICHA symposium on the judiciary and human rights, which will take place on the 12th and 13th October in Kuala Lumpur.
And see, what's the aim for that?
It is aimed for the judiciary and to appreciate more on the human rights, and also for other organizations, even the NGOs, to have an interaction with the judiciary in terms of so that they will know more about the aspect of human rights. And this will be followed by a regional workshop on the role of youth and human rights, which will be organized by AICHA Malaysia on 30th and 31st October this year at University of Malaya. So the youth is also, we want to bring the youth in terms of how they can play a greater role in terms of human rights, building the human creating more awareness about human rights.
So
in
will
this
they
region.
visit the sites, or will there be more discussion session held by youth?
Youth more because of it's a short 2 days program. It's more of a discussion. They will come out with the papers, and in terms of it's more of having dialogue with the youths, and it's not a one way thing, but kind of like hearing them out, and then we hope that at the end of the workshop, we'll come out with certain outcome documents, which we can share and then with other ASEAN member states in terms of building youths and human rights together.
So there's a lot of things that is going on right now in your pipeline, and focusing on, of course, very different areas in terms of civil society, human rights, and all. I want to go back still to the awards. So you have a very independent and also veteran panel of judges. What about the category? Is it just one category, or are you putting a few?
It is across all sectors of society. So it can cover. We don't basically we don't just cover just one in terms of say political or economic segment part of it, but we just it's kind of covers all sectors of society, including social and cultural development, maybe like economic integration, youth and livelihood, education, volunteerism, community development and empowerment. So it's wide-ranging areas. It covers the community and voluntary activities. It can cover in terms of what are the activities that they have done in terms of, say, we're talking about not only Malaysia, what they have done in Malaysia, but also within ASEAN or among ASEAN countries. Like you can talk about they can be contributing towards poverty eradication or rural development, charity work.
So there's no sensitive no-go. I mean, at least in the Malaysian context.
Yes. No.
So anyone from any sector, any initiative, as long as they're advancing the ASEAN community, or at least the Malaysia human rights and also community building, that means they're doing something.
Yes. Yeah. In order, what we want to do at the end of it, to recognize their contribution towards ASEAN community building, and there is no. We are transparent in terms of that, so that's why we have the selection independent selection committee, the judges committee. They will sit down after they have received all the nominations by end of September. we close the nominations.
Right.
And in October they will sit down and choose the best one from
I see.
Malaysia.
That's
So
that's
then
good.
other countries, they will do their own selection process. But by October we're supposed to have from one from each ASEAN member state.
Oh.
So
And what has the feedback been? You know, have the civil society been very supportive?
yes, we have had few inquiries, and there have been some. I think they have to get together the all the forms, and because we want to make sure that the selection process is done thoroughly, and we have put out in the nomination forms in terms of what are the criteria, what are the support documents that we need. If they have like evidence like video or paper cuttings of what they have done, that would add and give support to their nomination. So they have to give a CV of the person involved or a background of the organization. So then not only that, then in terms of what they have contributed towards the ASEAN community building, and we hope that once the award has been awarded, that they will use this one-off grant to continue the work that they have done.
Especially
in the
they have
community.
40,000 ringgit.
That would be a great motivation, isn't it?
And they'll be like, thank you for the currency drop. Now I have more money to spend for my civil society work.
Yeah, but it is actually for them. We give them to put back to the community.
Yeah.
In what work that they have
Sure,
done.
yes.
So that is the most important thing that we look into. That they will look this as a incentive for them to work harder towards the community building, because this is ongoing process.
Yeah, that's true.
So we hope that will be
But-
an encouragement to them.
But don't you think that you have not been reaching out enough towards the civil society? Because there's a lot of civil society out there. They are doing really interesting work, but they might not be aware that there's such grant coming from, or such award grant coming from ASEAN.
Yes. That's why we count on people like you, organization like Durian ASEAN, to help us out in terms of reaching out to the anyone. We have got a few on our list. We have many. We have sent out the application forms and as well as the information on that. We have in our website, in our ministry's website also information about it. We have sent out the paper in terms of the advertisement, reaching out to everyone in Malaysia. But we count on all segments of society, including the media, to assist us in trying to reach out to everyone. So we have done that, and I personally have contacted the civil society organization to also to look into who they feel that the best candidate to be nominated.
Oh, that's great.
That sounds very exciting, doesn't it? Yeah, when it comes to a whole ASEAN Community Award. I mean, this also brings sort of the highlight and a significance to the community, how important it is, the ASEAN itself, to the public.
That's true. This is important. There's so many great initiative out there that, they should be all equally recognized anyway.
Yes.
But of course, it's an award grant, so there will only be one. What about in terms of post ASEAN People's Award? Are you going to make this as an annual tradition, or are you going to somehow expand it further? Yeah,
what we intend to do is that once the selection process has been carried out, and the award will take place in November. during the 27th ASEAN Summit. That's when the climax of our chairmanship, and it will be presented by, we'll have all the leaders of ASEAN to recognize each of the awardee from the recipient of the award. So we hope that this will not stop here. That it would be carried out in the future, next year onwards, and we hope that it will be a permanent feature of the each chairmanship. That in order, I think this is important for us not only to create awareness about ASEAN, but also to recognize the contribution by the by the civil society or by an individual charity organization who have done quite a lot in terms of the contribution towards the society.
That's true. Anyway, we will take one short break. When we return, we'll discuss more and of course with Ambassador Jojie.
The Durian Heat, bringing big ideas and critical opinions in Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
And of course, you're still with us on the Durian Heat, discussing the same topic on the ASEAN People's Award, connecting ASEAN to the grassroots with Ambassador Jojie. From the award itself, what do you hope to achieve, I guess, for the larger goal for the ASEAN community, especially on the social cultural aspect?
Yes, what we expect is that, one of the objectives of the award is namely to appreciate and recognize the contribution and achievement made either by individual, community or organization across the region. And we hope that, by appreciating and recognizing their contribution and assisting them with a one-off grant, we can bring closer the realization of our overarching theme of people-centered ASEAN to the peoples of ASEAN. We hope that through this way, one of the way, and in terms of that, ASEAN through its various mechanisms will try to engage, continue to engage and interact through consultations and dialogues.
So there will be constant communication.
Yes, with its various stakeholders, including members of the civil society, on various issues at both regional as well as national levels.
Sorry, so when you have all this consultation, are you going to bring this to any of the ministerial meetings?
Yes. What we have done now is that we have the ASEAN community building, the road to ASEAN community building, the blueprint. So in each pillar, each of the three pillars, there are action lines. So we are supposed to have achieved 100% of the action lines by end of this year. They are
and what we have right now,
and we have achieved so far about 90%, and it is ongoing process, and we hope to achieve at least 100% by end of this year. And after that, people ask, okay, then you have achieved the ASEAN community, what then? So we have actually set up a high-level task force since early this year, and it was actually set up after the Naypyidaw declaration last year in Myanmar. After their chairmanship, there was a declaration to give mandate to the high-level task force. So high-level task force consists of all members from the officials from each ASEAN member state. So they have actually had meetings for 8 times already this year, 8 meetings this year. And what they do is that to come up with a post-2015 vision. So like our vision 2020, we have a vision. And also the various action lines or blueprints to supplement the vision. So they have had all these meetings they had, and we have another 2 more meetings to finalize all the blueprints. in across the all the three pillars, and this is where they don't just meet among the senior officials, but they also meet the stakeholders. So they have met actually on the Malaysia side. We have met the civil society, various segments of civil society, and we have various meetings with them. And in order to get the feedback from them and their views in terms of how now their views will be taken into account in terms of building a new vision for ASEAN, a post 2015 vision, and also
do you take into account the civil society statement, especially from the APF, ASEAN People's Forum, and also the AYS, ASEAN Youth Forum statement, to be inculcated in the larger vision 2020?
Yes, we have had discussions with them, with the civil society. I think they appreciated that their views are taken about. I think not. We have to appreciate that not all of their views are taken into account, because you have to get an agreement from all the ASEAN member states in terms of how you want to have a more succinct, more concise, and actually it is deliverable. We have what we call the SMART principle. It must be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and it's a time based. So previously the action lines, they don't have a time frame to it. So anyone can do the action line, organize a seminar or organize a workshop with the CSO, but for now we have the timeline for that, and what we intend to achieve at the end of it. So their views are taken into account. I know not all of their views are taken into account, but we make sure that the important part of it, as we head towards ASEAN community and post ASEAN, post ASEAN community, it's a as I said in the beginning, it's an ongoing process, and there are different levels of governing system in each country, so it's different in how they conduct their day-to-day work, and the level of their thinking, the level of maturity in terms of when you come to certain aspects, when you talk about human rights, when you talk about the empowerment of women's rights, when you talk about youth's involvement in the society, so it's different. So we have to get a common ground, and so that they can be a part of the community building.
It is very interesting. I personally like the SMART system that I've said. It's easy to remember.
It's not the name, right?
No, particularly because of the timeline that you mentioned. Because when it comes to ASEAN planning, there are so many plans out there, but then we've always mentioned about the execution of all those plans and then how well it is carried out. So it is very crucial to have the timelines to sort out them being organized and systematic, because after all, to achieve the whole single market or ASEAN level people-centered whole theme, it takes time. It wouldn't just be achieved overnight for sure, and then to be able to reach to youth level is also another story there. But my question here is, with the development of the technology nowadays, having the activities, the physical, tangible part is important, but then also to be able to, keep sending out the information to public via online especially, it's also another one. So do you have any plans to reach out all these generations, different kinds of generations via online platforms?
Yeah, we recognize that
Will there be an app?
Yeah, we recognize that there are different segments of society, and not all of them will be affable towards reading the newspapers nowadays. It's through internet, online, and whatever apps that they. So I think the ASEAN member states together with the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta, have recognized this, and we have we are working actually with ASEAN Secretariat to come out with a new method to reach out to the people, and even during our chairmanship we have actually done that through Twitter, through other various Facebook, WhatsApp. So we have done that, and we have seen even some youth groups, school children, university groups. They have actually also done on their own in terms of the ASEAN. Linking with ASEAN.
Right.
Some ASEAN.
Oh yeah, a lot of nowadays. There's a lot of ASEAN youth group doing a lot of different initiatives.
Yes.
In fact, they're doing it better. I'm kind of impressed with them.
Yeah, because they are quite internet savvy and technologically, as compared to the older generation, they are more competent, and savvy. So we are using them and we are linking up with them. So what we do is when I go out, say reach out, creating awareness, I have talks with them, and we do more of interactive dialogue with them. And I ask them, you don't only listen to what we say, but
give feedback.
Give the feedback, and you can create your own website or apps, or account, Twitter account, in order to have this dialogue among yourselves. And it is good to have this for them to question.
I think technology has break the barrier somehow. Not a lot, but good enough for governments to take notice of issues, critical issues in this region.
Yes.
Yeah, in a way. So I think the greater the feedback and interaction civil society, young people, as well as the general public have towards ASEAN, I think the more ASEAN would evolve, and that's also reflecting the changing trends and society that we have here in this region.
Yes, that's true. That's why during our chairmanship, when I say our working team is the people-centered ASEAN, it's a bottom. It's a top approach where we listen to them, and they give feedback through various mechanism, various approach that they can give, and as long as they don't misuse that that technology that they have, and we feel that that they have much to contribute towards the ASEAN community building.
That's true. Right. Before we end the show, perhaps you can give the website of how civil society can get the nomination form as well as register themselves.
Yes, they can go to www.asean2015. ASEAN 2015. There is a link towards ASEAN People's Award, or they can also go to www.kln.gov.my, and for any inquiries they can also connect with us at let me get the correct it's APA 2015 at kln.gov.my. That's an email, APA 2015 2015 at kln.gov.my. So we hope that there'll be much interest created, awareness created among them, and we hope that any inquiries that they can forward to us, and then we will be more than happy to respond to them.
So Ambassador Jojie, thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you very much.